Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Thrawn's Revenge 3.3 preview playthrough as the New Republic. In the last episode, we got to 12 ABY, which meant that Silgal joined us, but then Silgal, after two valiant defenses of Kaelist, she became one with the Force, and she would like us to remember her as a hero, really. But from there, we're going to send Akbar's fleet through Nimban, Sleharon, into Kessel, and the Maw. That we can just take some of these. Which means we're going to get a couple more battles against some of these fancy little hut units. I don't know if we're going to take these planets just yet. I do want to take them eventually so that we can get the extra credits for some trade ports. But
choose your reinforcements.
Order acknowledged.
These forces aren't going to be too hard for us to kill this early on. Or this early on in the hut's development, I should say. I didn't mean to imply this early on in the game. But let's just get some nice shots of the sky's fantastic work as we do that. I think that was all of the ships that are in currently for the huts. There's like 4 times as many done. It's just we don't want to release them all unfinished yet. Okay, Emberline, we did say would be a good place for trade port. Jindine is also a good place for a trade port. Coruscant already has one.
Battle.
I'm gonna keep doing that. I guess I wasn't counting the dreadnoughts for that.
Enemy unit sighted.
So there's egg on my base. No, we have not seen the eclipse yet. That's part of why I'm trying to keep Palpatine alive. That we'd have a chance for that.
Prepare for combat. May the Force. Yes, Commander. With us. Target marked.
The stream schedule in general is always an evolving thing, where I've personally benefited a lot recently from changing it so I was doing the recording streams at like 7 p.m. Eastern, which I know is not convenient for European viewers. But it's just been so much easier getting the datapad videos and the clips videos done that streaming has had to take like a bit of a backseat to that in general, which unfortunately has meant less convenience for the European side of things. Like, I've tried to keep the Friday streams earlier and even the Wednesday streams a little earlier, but it's hard to balance all the stuff. But ultimately, once I have a better workflow set up for everything, I do want to make sure that I have a bit more variety in how I'm able to set up streaming. Okay, we can definitely get the trade port on that, on Krita. And I think it's time to hack some other places. Balamak, what's your base value? Okay. You're definitely getting taxed. Metalorn, you have a pretty good base value as well. Hapan. And Bunta?
Building started.
Okay, Narshada and Nelhada for sure. Nelhada, I think we already have a tax agency on. Yeah. You're 300. Nelhada, or Narshada, you're 400. So I think this is gonna be actually worth doubling up on. We'll get that. And anything else we want to do for ships? Von Cal is not busy. We'll get Unleaky Bucket, I think. We get the discount from Leia while moving some more of these guys over.
Take us in.
Empire took Sauce Beacon.
Building started.
Constructing.
I think we want to move these ships over until Caecilius is built up. And we might even want to split up some of those fleets, too. Balmora, you'd be a good candidate for trade port. How are we even looking for our trade ports? I think those numbers should be accurate. Okay, they might not be accurate. I may have overstated their accuracy. But we have Akbar ready to move in on these two.
Tactical battle imminent.
We should be able to just kind of blitz the Maw and Kessel pretty easily.
We've got them. Send reinforcements.
Like, we've been pretty effectively able to
Choose your reinforcements.
Complying.
mash our way through these.
I am with you.
Take out their fighter base.
Beware of traps. Targets.
Well, whatever ships they had on Kessel went to the Maw, so there might be something there. But it was neutral, so it didn't have to be a ton of stuff. And we definitely have the ground forces to make it through these two. It is kind of crazy how demolished the Empire is getting by everyone up here. Alright, into Kessel first.
Commencing.
Your plans to have the Rogue class starfighter. That's the one that's basically the same as is the Powan fighter? But that's the kind of thing that it's basically
Let's go.
if and when an artist
Yes.
wants to make it,
I'm here.
it'd probably be slotted somewhere.
Keep going.
We've
But until
secured
then,
a
it's not a
build
thing
pad.
that like I'm gonna tell anyone to make.
This way. Over
We've
there.
secured a build
Affirmative.
pad.
Reporting in. Can do.
Choose your reinforcements.
Adjusting Navicomputer.
So it's a probable thing to show up in Father Republic eventually. I just don't know when probable is,
Reinforcements on
or when
route.
eventually is rather.
Right.
That makes more sense to say it that way.
Ready to roll. Roger that. Got it. Moving out. T2B over. T2B copy.
Yeah, it's rare that we're not able to find a place for something. It's generally just when do we have the assets.
Armor.
And with Father Republic in particular, a lot of the remaining asset work is really just
Yes, sir.
filling out that kind of additional either influence units,
Copy.
which is one potential use case for
I copy.
one of the
Ready to
variants,
roll. Roger that.
or
Form up. Course
local
plotted.
forces, revolt forces.
Reporting.
Because like we got the core rosters done. There's still some ships coming for the CIS and Republic directly, but a lot of it will be more of the
Adjusting Navicomputer.
Reinforcements
flavor.
en route.
Adjusting Navicomputer. Guarding the rear. Advancing. I copy. Moving out. I copy.
like usually with overlap we're still able to find somewhere to
Forward.
put stuff in,
Inbound. Yes, Commander.
even if it's not like part of a core roster all the time. Sometimes it's by like replacing something else, sometimes it's by
Out, sir.
making it an optional research. The biggest thing for that is the New Republic,
Yes, sir.
where a lot of things become... Okay, you know what? If you're going to be on this bridge, just get in.
Yes, Commander.
I might have spoken too soon. I don't think that's actually too much for what we got here.
Heading out. All out. T2B over. Let's move out. Yes, sir.
ACs. Come in. Come on. Like, overlap is a reason that things wouldn't be prioritized highly or wouldn't be on the explicit to-do list, but then it's just, like, does an artist want to do it? Get a black hole?
Roger that. Over there. Form up. On it. Forward. Awaiting orders. Copy. Adjusting navicomputer. I copy.
Roaming run available.
Reporting.
Alright, and we are gonna bomb this rock. I might have missed it, but... oh well. I don't think I did. I might have. I might have.
Yes, Commander.
Let's be real.
Ready. I have visual contact. Advance.
Yeah, I kind of missed it a little bit.
G2B, copy. Forward! I copy. Right away. Yes, Commander. Fall out. Open fire. Armor standing by. Armor ready. Move it out. I'm here, sir.
I think a stat block for the rogue does exist as well.
Roger that. Form up. Target in range. Heading out. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Let's move out.
I did get the McDonald's rifle. Thank you. It showed up right as we ended the stream.
Let's go. Keep going. Keep
Okay,
working.
we should be about... there we
All
go. We got it.
victorious.
Got Castle, now we get the Maw. And it all evens out. All their attempts to take my planets will be forgiven,
System conquered.
because we have taken theirs. And then we can, like, come up to Gunta.
Two coordinates.
Tactical battle.
Alright, so they did have some ships down here.
Incoming.
Choose your reinforcements.
And when it comes to doing, like, extra random stuff, asset-wise,
Entering hyperspace.
that usually means it's up to Oz, Sky, or Philo.
Engage the enemy.
They're usually the ones who will go and do something random. Whereas, like, me and Bob tend to
Fire on their weapons.
only go for the stuff that was pre-planned and we need to do, because, like,
Cruiser reporting.
Bob and I will
Lasers.
either texture some of Oz's models or more confidently be working on code.
On your order.
This is more Star Destroyers than I thought there'd be,
Commander.
but we have more fighters than they ought to.
Reporting in.
Sasheen Cruiser reporting.
Standing by.
Like, Oz still has a pile of models that we're really far behind on texturing.
Dauntless here.
Which is always the case, because Oz just works so fast on the models. Whereas, like, Philo and Sky work really fast on them too, but they're texturing their stuff, so we don't have to keep those as much. Like,
For your order.
they slow themselves down with that.
Cruiser standing by. They're as good as dead.
But we tend to not have as many dedicated texture artists that are as active,
Reporting.
so it's usually myself or Bob or Porto. Arios is learning to texture as well, and Rhino was too, but they've also been busy.
Beware of traps. Standing by. Ready for orders. What do you suggest?
I don't know if Oz's computer would run it, but if it would, then I'd like offer to buy him Substance Painter. It's not that texturing is more boring than modeling, it's just the program to use it, or to do it, is less accessible. Where, like, Blender is free, open source, anyone can download it and use it, and that's what we use for modeling. Whereas for texturing, we use Substance Painter, which is a monthly subscription, and that's a barrier to entry that prevents most people from getting into it as much. Yeah, Oz uses an older version of Blender, and it someday he'll have to update.
Complete.
I should probably save there. I feel like I overwrote something rather than saving in 2 slots. As long as I don't overwrite an Imperial. Yep, Oz can use the importer. The cake baking will be next month. Or not next month. Next Thursday. I was going to do it Friday, then I realized that Dana's actually going to be home on Friday. Because it's a stat holiday. So I can't do the cake baking on Friday afternoon. I've got to do the cake baking on Thursday. And she can't hear me because she's at work right now. So what I want to do... I can't remember if I've explained this on stream before. But she likes crocheting. So for her birthday, I want to make her like a cake that's shaped like a ball of yarn. So I ordered these cake pans that are like hemisphere stuff. So you kind of cook them as half a round cake rather than having to like shape one after you've baked it, because then it's just a mess and it's a waste of cake.
Affirmative. Let's go.
So I'll either have it as like just one of the hemispheres, or I'll do 2 cakes as the hemispheres. Or I'll try to like actually stack them, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. But then I'm gonna try to decorate it as like a ball of yarn, so I'll try to like pipe the icing and everything. But I'm gonna have to buy twice as much cake mix because I have a history of fucking up cakes.
Roger that. Over there. Give me the target.
I made myself a cake for my 27th birthday, I think. I think it was 27. 26 or 27, when I lived in Niagara, one of the years. I guess I was in Niagara for 2 years on my birthday. And I had like... I had one friend who lived down the street from my childhood, but that was it. So I made my own birthday cake while my parents were out. Because they were at some party for something. And then it did not come out well. What? These vans will get over here faster. Did any of the infantry survive? Not really. I didn't get the support there fast enough. Yeah, so like my plan is... Okay, drive forward. You drive forward as well. Drive forward isn't necessarily. But yeah, my plan is I ice it, I get some purple
I'm here, sir.
purple food coloring, and then I do another layer of like piped on rows to look like the strings. I'm gonna post a picture when I've done it, regardless of the outcome. So it'll be at least saved for posterity, if nothing else.
Let's move out.
Most of my life is coming up with that kind of idea and then not executing on it, though. Which is kind of like the basis for modding, except I do execute on a lot of the modding stuff. So it's not impossible that I end up doing these things, but I don't know, like I made the 2 terrariums and then I got another jar to make another terrarium, but I haven't done anything with it yet.
Ready to roll. Keep going.
Okay, fine. I'll capture the instructions.
This way.
It'll be better once I'm playing a build with the icons that tell you what they are. Then I'll know whether I want to go get them in that particular battle. Because, like, right now, honestly, the only thing I'd want is a mine. They don't really have anything else here that's I'm gonna need help killing. I guess I'd technically take a
Over there.
sensor. I wouldn't hate a sensor, because then I'd be able to bomb stuff.
Copy. Can do. Right.
Well, exploring the map and getting those bonuses is nice when you need them to help you fight the battle. But I was coming in against one structure,
On target.
so I don't really need help winning the battle.
Target's locked. I'm with you. T2B, copy. Move it out.
So a mine I can take with me, but like if I get a capturable vehicle factory and it spits out some vehicles for me, what am I gonna do? I'm not. Who cares? I've already got a trillion more units than them. Right, up to Klatswing.
How about some backup?
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Right away.
We've increased our income by about $1,000. That's only gonna get better. Okay, so we go from Klatsween over to Lantilli soon.
Inland.
Klatsween is going to be a bit harder on the ground than the other planets have been, but it will mean that we have a pretty solid defense, other than the fact that
They're over here.
Kalist is kind of hanging by a thread over there, and then this whole southern area is vulnerable.
Choose your
But-
reinforcements.
What are the chances they actually break through?
Fleet moving to that location.
I guess I should actually read the names. Emerald Fire, we have Helsinki, we have Glory Hammer, we have Lovely Tender, we have Let's See and Tep with Braybirds on me getting shot, and we have Tranquility.
Reporting for duty, Commander.
So I'm gonna put in those other units with Akbar when we go for Lantilles, like the Balkan Assault Cruiser Fleet and the MC-40 that have been kind of sitting there.
The enemy has been defeated.
They can get their actual debuts. E-butts. Which ones are over here anyways? So that's wait, this isn't a Star Cruiser. I thought there was an assault frigate with that one as well. Where are they? Did I put them on here? I did. That has long speed bump, tranquility, it's fine. ABC, Wilmington on Sea, 4 East G supply, active galactic nucleus, Agave you a chance, Barcelona. That's a pretty decent fleet on its own. Not enough to take out Lantilles, but we'll be sending them in with Akbar. Because once that's done, this is like the Hapans are split in half, and that becomes much harder for them.
Invasion
All right,
commencing.
the Eastern Imperial campaign is nearly complete. I think the Hapans. No, the Penastar line is definitely the second strongest.
I copy. Reporting.
Hapans are getting there though.
Choose your reinforcements.
What thing in the base game that's expansion did you wish didn't exist so you wouldn't have to make it or deal with it in the mod? Orbital bombardments. There's more ways to set up gameplay around bombing runs. Orbital bombardments were added in Forces of Corruption, and like a lot of Forces of Corruption stuff,
Toward a build path.
they probably could have used a bit more time in the oven. Where we can't remove them because people would be very upset if we removed them, but they also have a tendency to warp ground battles around them a little bit more.
Heading out, sir.
So if they weren't around,
Fall out, troops. Yes, sir.
then other things might be a little bit more flexible to play with. But because they are around, they're the kind of thing that if we tried to like change them too much or remove them, people would be very upset. I don't mind where they are right now as much because we have like enough other things preventing them, and they function as a good way to like end the battles once they've largely been ended. Like they're more of a cleanup mechanic than a sit back and wait for them to win the battle mechanic on more heavily defended worlds. But it's still a thing that might have been easier to deal with if they just didn't exist.
Reinforcements.
Hey, Granite Saber, glad you and your friends enjoy it.
Guarding the rear. Keep going. Roger that. This way. Yes, sir.
I don't think ultimately extending the timer really does anything, because like, even as it is right now, you don't typically go through 2 of them unless you're really struggling with the base siege. Like, I think where the ground, or where the space to ground stuff is right now is a pretty reasonable place. I still do want to make some changes to them, but it's much better than it has been at least.
Awaiting orders. Over there. Copy. Can do.
We gotta like hide on the side here. Let's see if we can drop close enough that we can
Adjusting Navicomputer.
We've secured
Heading out, sir.
maybe take out the... No, don't do that. We want to take the turret. Come on. Okay, you're starting to get it.
I copy. All weapons loaded. Moving out. K4C ready. Reporting.
Not those. Let's not try to move up this side.
Heading out. Yes, sir. Got it.
We've lost a build
All
path.
out.
We've lost a build path.
Let's go.
We've lost a build path.
Form up. Waiting orders.
I do wish pathing and targeting stuff was better in the game. Like, I really wish the game... Or I wish units would know if they weren't able to hit something from where they are. Because you can... That's how you can have stuff just, like, sit there and shoot into the ground for an hour, and they'll never try to adjust. There's not really a way around that, other than making them, like, shoot through the ground, which I don't really love. Have you ever had a unit capable of ground-to-space fire? Unfortunately, that wouldn't be possible. The ground-to-space weapons aren't particularly moddable. Like, you can mod them what the existing ones do, but you can't really add in a bunch of them beyond that. And they have some pretty limited ways in which they can be changed.
Unit destroyed.
Adjusting Navicomputer.
I'm gonna just build them again. Get in there. Right, this was a bit more of a damaging battle for us than I was hoping for.
Almost there. Hang on. We'll keep our eyes open.
Unit destroyed. We've secured a building.
Do you penalize the use of bombardment by lowering the influence you have on planet we conquered? One of the things we are doing with it will have galactic effects in the future,
Heading out, sir.
but not yet, and not necessarily influence. But not super. Oh crap! I didn't think they'd win that. Oh well. Okay, let's do this the stupid way.
Commencing attack.
Build pad.
Computer locked on target. Let's go.
Bombardment available.
Like, one of the things with handling influence like that is that
We've lost
you wouldn't have had a chance to do anything to counteract that. So you'd basically just have a planet revolting right off the start.
planetary
The system
control
can't really
achieved.
handle that many malices right at the beginning of taking a planet. But any of the changes done ground to space or space to ground weapons is almost certainly a 0.4 thing at this point. So it'll be a while before you hear anything about that. Would a ground unit be able to do the other things it does, just not interact with it in the space battle? I'm not sure what you mean. So you wouldn't be able to have a ground-to-space weapon that's based on a unit at all. It's the structures, and there's only like 2 indexes you're able to use. 3 if you count the underworld stuff. So it's not a particularly flexible thing, and it's not something you can just apply to any other set of units that you want.
Research complete.
Okay,
Building
we're gonna
started.
get that. What did this get the Viscount cost down to? 40 grand? I can do 40. 2 more weeks. But I do want to get the other ones first. So we'll get Impetus. We'll get Beanbag. Battlestar Galactica.
Construction complete.
Don't need to queue everything up at once. Do we have any, or many, of the non-capitals? We actually do. We have a few that we can still buy. So let's get Funky
Vehicle in
Fighters.
production.
Let's get... Okay, nothing we can afford is a penny right now, so we'll just leave that. And I'm gonna move these guys over.
Nebula class reporting in.
Escort requested. Underway.
Construction complete.
How are you? You are definitely also worth that. Oh, I don't have enough money for it. I don't know why I thought I had that much money. Alright. So I wanted to combine... I did want to combine them, so I should probably move in from over here. And then we'll probably split those fleets up a little bit more. Again.
We're on our way.
And have a fleet set up for taking on Maldruid. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll save the money from this week and from next Galactic Week and queue up the Viscount before building the rest of the stuff. So, like, we'll queue up the Viscount on Mon Cal, and then we'll move Leia to Coruscant, or to Kuat, rather.
Construction.
Alright, and I think we are going to take the fight to Lantilles in space as our final act of the day.
Tactical battle imminent.
Maybe if I ever get on a more consistent sleep schedule that makes more sense for my time zone, I'll be able to do some of the streams in the morning. Like this.
Choose your
Because the big problem with the afternoon ones that moving to night was a benefit for is that I don't have to like look forward to it all day. Like it's more of a mental thing than actually not having time. This is actually not the best setup. Okay, active galactic nucleus, Akbar, Star Cruiser. Like the Hapan's against this. Okay, double tranquility. ABC. They have so much ion damage. Police G supply. Barcelona. Gave you a chance. Long speed bump.
Yes, Commander. An excellent tactic. I am with you.
Cruiser, standing by. Engaging Imperial forces. Open fire.
Beware of traps.
Awaiting orders. Fire
I
at
didn't
will.
want Akbar quite that far up. Gibraltar.
Got our orders.
We're moving
Wilmington.
out.
Helsinki. I'm gonna try to just line it with the fleet tenders. Love me tender.
Entering
Glory
hyperspace
Hammer, R2's third leg, Emerald Fire, and it's fine.
What do you suggest? Moving into position.
There, at least now he's not gonna be right in the line of fire.
Frigate reporting. Reporting in. Target confirmed.
Majestic cruisers standing by.
And we'll try to hit these battle dragons.
Ready for command.
Okay, X-Wings, all the bombers.
At your command.
Gaves, move up, E-Wings,
Sir, we're going in.
you as well.
Going back for another pass?
A-Wings. You can start heading for the station. That'll probably be what's relevant when you get there. Alright, this group, you are going to go for that.
All cannons.
Awaiting orders. Scanning their
Pop
sensors.
this now as they're coming in. You are going to start on that.
Dauntless heavy cruiser reporting.
Endurance on station.
Standing by. Moving to coordinates.
Commander.
We have them in our sight.
Alright.
Ready to engage.
Akbar should be safe back there now.
Lock weapons and fire.
It wasn't a huge Haven fleet. I was more concerned about the station. We weren't in range of that when things went bad. And we've
Ready for
moved them
your
alright.
signal.
Yes, Commander.
Assault frigate here. Starting impact. Initiating attack. Roger that. Laser, make it ready.
Majestic cruisers standing by.
That's the battle dragons. I don't think they actually have a shipyard here, which is really helpful for us. Alright, now we can get over the station. And Akbar didn't even lose his shields.
Standing by. That's gonna help. Attack. Form up. Fire at will. Your orders? Intercept.
We have enough carrier and anti-fighter coverage to get him out of there.
Endurance class at your disposal, sir.
So, yeah, that worked out better than I expected it would, actually.
I hear you loud and clear. Cruiser reporting. Target spotted.
Alright, and then we do need to take out the other level 3 there. I guess I was assuming they were level 4 for some reason.
On your order.
Awaiting
Alright,
orders.
You guys up there, MC30. I really like MC30s, but I don't use them as much as I should.
Weapons operational. Destroy the shadow generators. Weapon heads charged.
Quasar reporting for duty, sir.
I guess I should just blame all the patrons for that.
Form up.
It's everyone else's
Attack
fault.
that target.
Ready for your signal.
Maybe in survival.
Give them no quarter.
Alright, we need to kill the Bidens.
Ready. Target the heavy gun. That's got him.
Here, can you actually kill some Bidens? Say goodbye to them?
I copy. Attacking target.
I'm in range.
Roger that. Torpedoes armed.
Copy. I'll try and draw their fire.
Calamari frigate reporting. Fire at will. Calamari frigate ready.
I need help here.
Majestic cruiser standing by.
Okay, you up there.
I've got a problem.
Ready for your orders.
Encountering resistance.
Targeting at maximum firepower. Attacking.
Alright. No serious losses. I don't think we actually lost anything there. We just got kind of close with Akbar. But we also had his command buff, which, you know, when we have a numerical advantage plus the high level command buffs, it definitely helps.
Reporting.
You guys go over. We're gonna just.
I've got my approach vector.
Agreed to full throttle.
If I were to get some of these 3D printed, like MC30s are definitely somewhere on the upper end of the list of
Agreed to full throttle.
things that I'd want to 3D print. I keep putting off any 3D printing requests for. I keep thinking like when I move, because I did it when I was moving in here, and then it's like, okay, next time when I really design an office and figure out like the displays of everything, then I'll definitely do it.
Destroyer turbo lasers.
Engines at full.
But next time for real.
Target those lasers. Weapons armed. Orders received.
Because I sort of have my office how I designed it here, but especially after I rearranged the basement
Yes, Commander.
and I kind of put myself over in this corner, it's been a bit more cramped and I have like less display room. But before, I had basically taken over the entire basement as just mine. Now I haven't done that, but we basically have the other half of the basement behind my bookshelves that we just don't really use for anything because the couch is very uncomfortable. Like, I want to be down here sometimes working on this computer rather than being in the living room, but Dana would not want to sit on that couch. Okay, Ubrikia is a really good one for a trade port for next time, I think. So we'll probably want to do that. Thank you, Keelcall, for the bit, which apparently works on mobile. Okay, let's see what this wants to say about power differentiation or distribution. 10 planets and 12% for the CSA, 46 planets, 21% for us. Empire, allegedly 2 planets and 15%. Huts, minus 2 planets and 1%. Hapan's, 10 planets, 12%. I think the percentages of forces are fairly accurate, proportionally at least. The planet counting is messed up for some reason. Ariadu, 2 planets, 4%. That actually seems right for both. Independence, 4 and 18. Neutral planets, 37. That's not true. 0. I suspect that's because of how some of the factions were changed a while back. And getting new factions on the map. We're not 100% sure on what's going on. But that is going to do it for today. So I'm going to save here. Next time, we are going to wait for that next tick into month 30. At which point, Viscount time, or starting to build the Viscount time. That'll be in construction for a while. There's an ad starting soon. Very helpful. But hope you've all enjoyed the morning stream. Thank you so much for watching, both people on YouTube and on Twitch. And hope to see you next time. We should be back on Sunday night, probably the day that this episode goes up. Playing something with levered Scarecrow and Inertial. I think we're starting Celasta, another one of the Divinity-style games. It was a lot of fun when we did that. It just depends if Scarecrow's back yet. I'm not 100% sure on that. By the way, thanks again, everyone. Have a good night.